Tagliani getting a moment in the sunshine here. Now he's playing a much different fuel strategy. He's almost at the outer edge of the fuel window, and he comes down inside the broken white line. You've got to have all four wheels inside that line per Champ Car rule for this race. So here comes Alex Tagliani, and that'll vault Nelson Philippe into the lead, at least momentarily. Yanni's headed your way.
Pit, so you can come straight in, just slow it down.
You can hear him on the radio. They'll talk him through. I will tell you while we watch this stop, there are a few raindrops that have been falling here on pit road. Nelson Philippe goes by. Another car here going to the black sidewall Bridgestone. That seems to be the tire of choice. Very similar stop, just over 9 seconds for Tagliani. Again, a few raindrops on pit road. Most everyone pitted. Who knows if rain tires are in the future.
Justin Wilson and Bourdais retake the top two spots as these cars come to pit road. Ryan Briscoe has had repairs done. David Martinez in that Telmax Forsyth machine, he's made a pit stop. He's back out in sixth. So for Martinez, the Atlantic Series graduate, a very impressive first run in a Champ Car World Series machine. Now the race handed back to Wilson, and he's 3 seconds to the good over Bourdais.
I don't know whether you could sense it, but the crowd could begin to sense as the pit stops unfolded. Their man, David Martinez, in his very first race, actually ran second at one stage before he peeled off into the pits. So the crowd hoped that he was going to be able to hang on for one more lap. When Philippe pulled off, who was leading, boy, the cheer you would have heard then. It was temporary, but they still would have enjoyed seeing their man Martinez lead here.
Well, now the top 7 have all pitted, and Martinez is slotted 6th. So it's been a good first stint for Martinez at a Champ Car.
Junqueira, we need to let this scoring settle down first, because
that's what happened.
Philippe.
That's what happened to Ryan Briscoe, Derek. You could see that right front just come apart as he came down the front straightaway.
Well, I've never seen that on a Bridgestone, because so I can only, and wow, it looks like he might have locked a brake. There is Andreas Wirth, who did an outstanding job to avoid that crash in the pit lane.
You'd have to think that Briscoe's problem was either due to a flat-spotted tire or that he'd run over some debris.
Yeah, because I've never seen a tire explode like that. It absolutely has to be one of those two things. Or contact with somebody, but I don't think he was running that close to anybody at that time.
That's his second tire issue of the day. We had a glimpse of the tire the first time. Don't know that we saw it on the air, but the sidewall was cut, and Jan pointed out that that's very often the case of a winglet slicing that sidewall. In this case, the entire cross part of the main tread area of the tire was just blown up. So
okay, so here's how this race is going to unfold. Wilson and Bourdais are now on the same black sidewall Bridgestone Potenzas. Wilson's last lap, 28.6, 0.4 of a second quicker than Bourdais. They are both clear of the field, but have a look at this here. CDW is just way ahead of Bourdais, suddenly 2 laps after the pit stop.
Justin Wilson is your leader. Bourdais slots in second in front of his teammate. And the Aussie Vineyards bunch 4th and 5th. Buddy Rice has moved into the top 10 in front of Oriol Servia. Justin Wilson, meantime, trying to bag his second win of the season, his 4th career win for the Roo Sports squad out of Loveland, Colorado. Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. Our coverage today being brought to you by CDW, the right technology right away. And by the all-new Mazda CX-7, the SUV you never saw coming. And welcome into Mexico City at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. As Jan Vikas told us, rain starting to fall here. Now everybody's on dry tires. They've all made their first stops. I'm thinking we'll see teams put wet weather tires up quickly. Look at this. We've got a helmet cam with Andrew Ranger today. Look at the rain washing onto his face mask, Derek.
This is going to put the cat among the pigeons here.
Derek Daly and Jan Vikas, guys, you've driven in this sort of situation many times. How quickly did they need to stop for wet weather tires?
Well, it's a case where we can do a couple things at one time. We can talk about the wet weather tires, and we can answer 2 questions. First of all, what we had happen with Sebastian Bourdais. He pitted early, said that his Bridgestone red sidewall tires were worn out. With Al Spire of Bridgestone, we don't see any wear indicators. Why so much wear?
Well, I think Sebastian was running very fast. He and Justin were clearly the class of the field, and the reds do go off more than the blacks do, and Sebastian wore this set out. We'll keep working on it. That's part of the reason we're racing, and we come back here next year, we'll have a different set.
Then we saw Ryan Briscoe with the tire exploded. What happened?
Yeah, Ryan Briscoe, the team told us very clearly he locked it up going into the chicane, very badly flat spotted it, and it finally let go coming down the main straight.
Now you and I are getting wet. How soon do we put on the wet tires?
Well, the way it's raining right now, I'd say it's going to be pretty soon, and that'll probably be the biggest tire story of the race.
Well, we're going to get in position because I have a feeling any moment we're going to have pit stops for wets. Thank you, Al.
Forsythe team battling for position here. Buddy Rice on the inside in the 7 car. He moves by Martinez as they are behind Briscoe now. This is for 7th and 8th, and Briscoe, with that tire issue, he's back 15th a lap down.
So Buddy Rice, who has problems, let's say issues, not problems, but getting used to the braking abilities of these cars, has been something that he's tried to get over. If it rains, then you need the delicate touch. It'll be really interesting to see what happens if it does rain and puts him on wet weather tires here.
Buddy Rice moving by Martinez. Martinez, of course, a homeland favorite here in Mexico City. Martinez back to 8th, and Rice moves up to 7th. Now, Buddy Rice has got a Champ Car background. He raced in the Champ Car Atlantic Championship for a couple of seasons, won the title in the 2000 season, driving for the DSTP team, which was very well known for a number of years in the Atlantic Series. Buddy Rice moved on, of course, to the other major open-wheel tour in the country, won the Indy 500 a couple of years ago. Rice returns home this weekend, auditioning for a job, I would say, with Forsythe Championship Racing.
And he looks remarkably like A.J. Allmendinger. Same, he's got a helmet color scheme because it's Red Bull painted just like his, so you wouldn't know who was driving the car. But remarkably like A.J. Allmendinger. Is he coming in?
I think teams are starting to bring their cars in. Yeah, here comes the Forsythe team. They will pit on lap 31, and the Team Australia cars are in, Jan.
Yes, both Team Australia cars are going for the wet tires. You see Nelson Philippe go by. They will usually make changes on the wings, but they don't for Will Power. We watch while they make changes with Alex Tagliani. Again, no front wing changes at the moment, just the tire.
Wow. Now the strategic move here is, when do you stop? You stop just before, if you can, before you really need full wets, but you stay out as long as possible. Now, the worst thing that could happen if you stop early is that it doesn't rain very heavily. So the guys who wait, suddenly you hand them a big advantage.
Well, Rousport decided to leave as we watch Justin Wilson continue to lead. He stays out on the racetrack for now. Bourdais is still out there, and they also left Ryan Briscoe out there on the slicks in conditions that are getting worse. But Briscoe's plan, I'm sure, was to try to get his lap back as we watch Wilson work his way through the slower traffic now. Wilson on the lead, moving by one of the Forsythe cars. Now he's up behind Buddy Rice, who runs 9th. Catherine Legs on pit road for her rain tires.
So is Buddy Rice quicker on wets? No, doesn't look like it. Oh, he's leaving room for Wilson. He sees him. Wilson is quicker on the slicks. Oh, it's touch and go right now, but Rice does see him.
Wilson's got to be careful. You don't want to put a tire up on the painted surface here when it's a little bit wet, because that can really be treacherous.
Now, but good job by Buddy Rice. He watched his mirrors and he saw Wilson poke his nose down the inside. The worst thing he could have done was chop down and take the two of them into the boondocks.
Mario Dominguez still out there on slicks.
Where's Bourdais while this is happening?
Bourdais is 5 seconds back, but Wilson is being held up, Jan.
Pit this lap.
Sebastian Bourdais.
Copy, we're ready. Pit.
And you can hear they're going to pit Wilson, but they've decided to take a gamble on Bourdais. He's not going to pit. They had the wet tires out. They decided no, because it stopped raining for a moment. Now, that may be a bad call because it's starting to pour down here on pit road.
Here comes Wilson to pit road.
Are you sure they're going to leave Bourdais out there? Let's watch how this thing unfolds. This will help Wilson's wrist injury. Driving in the rain is nowhere near as difficult as when you have the heavy G-forces fighting the steering wheel, and Bourdais flies by the front straight here. Cameron.
Well, you can hear him telling Justin Wilson to be careful on the painted surface coming in.
You did the right thing.
But they're saying they did the right thing by coming in for those wet weather tires. Sebastian Bourdais risking it for at least another lap.
Now remember that Bourdais won at Montreal in wet conditions back at the end of August. Wilson slowly off pit road, observing the speed limit. We're just past halfway. This puts Bourdais out in front. Wilson gives up a ton of track position here.
Huge gamble though for Bourdais, because how quickly is he able to run? There he is in the middle of the same mix that Wilson was in on the last lap, and he is not quicker. In fact, if anything, he's slower right now than Ranger, who's on wet weather tires behind him. Bourdais is losing time.
Tell us the wing adjustment.
Tell us the weight adjustment.
No wing adjustment.
Wing.
We are ready.
It is raining very hard on the front stretch. Anybody left on dries is really taking a risk, and that would include Bourdais at this point. The McDonald's Newman Haas team ready to go.
He hasn't lost much time. He has not lost much time to Wilson on that lap. How quick was Wilson on his out lap?
Ready. Set of wets here. No wing adjustment.
No wing adjustment for Bourdais. Into the bus stop. He's almost to pit road.
Ranger got by him.
Team ready for the series champion.
I think he's lost time. Overall, I think he's lost time. When he comes in, gets back out, I think you'll see how much Wilson is ahead of him. I think he's lost time.
Sebastian Bourdais, the season champion.
Clear out. Nice and easy. Surface is wet. Right on the marks. No wing adjustment. Right on there. That's it. Easy does
Kenny
it.
Seawick is so good on the radio.
Beautiful.
And they're going to put the wet tires on, as you heard, with no wing adjustments. They had told him earlier that wet tires, wow, he was actually spinning the tires before it dropped off the jacks. They were saying that wet tires, Derek, were 8 seconds allowed. So they were hoping that somehow he could stay quicker than that. And obviously with this kind of rain, he couldn't.
Wilson just flew by him. Flew by him down this straight. Now, one of the issues Bourdais told me after the session this morning, which was wet, dry, and warm-up, he said the painted chicane that along this front straight is actually causing wheel spin on the rear. He thinks if it rains hard, it's going to be an issue. He thinks he's going to have to drive around almost the chicane down this front straight.
All right, let's reset where we are. Bourdais shown the race leader in front of Wilson, but Wilson blew by as Bourdais was exiting pit road. Bruno Junqueira shown third right here in the hole-in-the-wall Camps 2 car for the Newman Haas team. Then you've got Power fourth, Nelson Philippe fifth at the moment in front of Tagliani. Buddy Rice has worked his way up to seventh. Much better effort from Rice than we had seen all weekend long. Serbia, David Martinez, and Andrew Ranger, your top 10 at the moment. We watch Bruno Junqueira, who desperately wants to win here this weekend. Really, he's racing to hold on to his ride as much as anything else. In that hole-in-the-wall Camps 2 car. Bruno Junqueira battling back from that injury at Indianapolis a year ago. It's taken him almost a full season to get back to form. The McDonald's team, they put wet weather tires on Bourdais' car. Junqueira shown now as the leader in front of Wilson and Bourdais, Tagliani and Rice, and the top 10 completed by Andrew Ranger. Bruno Junqueira, have a look at his career statistics. This season, it's been a pole and 4 top 5s for Bruno.